The opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of WVRC Media, its management, employees, or sponsors. This is Overtime, a weekly moment of off-the-cuff commentary on everything from sports and politics to observations about everyday life from NFL All-Pro Carl Lee. Welcome to Overtime.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Lee, and I have this is my overtime segment, and I have my guest with me, Hollis Lewis.
What's up?
And this weekend, Hollis, I was with my guys, man. Like guys from Marshall. Our experience at Marshall pretty much is the same. Didn't win many games. Darnell Richardson. Stephon Blackwell, Greg Jones, Kenny Lindsey, Leon Sims. We spent literally like the whole weekend together, just hanging out, laughing, reminiscing, and all of that. And I bring that up because that's the bond that you have, that you grow, that you don't know from high school. The guys that you played with, you don't know that. Then you get to the college level. You're with these guys like every day. Like you're going through, you're eating with them, sleeping with them, practicing with them. Yeah. Like you're around them all day. You're in the same dorm. You're rooming with some of them. You don't ever get away from them. And over 30 plus years, like we're still that group. Mm-hmm. And regardless of how good you were or whether you played or started or any of that kind of stuff, none of that matters today. And one of the things that I think we're missing, whether it's a parent issue, whether it's a coach issue, whether it's a player issue, or a combination of all of them, that's the piece that you miss when you start talking about, because it seems personal now. My journey is personal. It's me. I don't have anything to do.
Or singular.
Yeah, that's the better word. It's singular. And me and you can be cool now, but man, I'm not staying here because you here. I'm going for what's best for me, and I just don't know if that's sports. I don't think that's how sports was meant to be. I think it was meant to be a bond to where you kind of almost like the Boy Scouts. Like you get into the Boy Scouts and you bond with those with those other kids, and like you stay there, like you're in that with them, and you build that lifetime bond.
I mean, yeah, and what you speaking on, Tom Brady recently made he was on the podcast and he made the exact same point. He said the problem with kids today in sports is that it's all about them. And, to that point, I mean, I have bonds with guys I play like Little League baseball with. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Little League football, high school, college. So it's very valid and very important. And I think it's, building those lifetime friendships and bonds across these different sports for different reasons. Like you said, whether you're a college and you're just spending all day together, or you had a great season in high school or something to that effect. These are lifetime friendships, lifetime memories, lifetime of reminiscing,
And you miss, even, and not saying that me and you can't still be cool because I left and went somewhere else.
It's not the same, though.
But it's not the same, because if you didn't go through the same experience as I had, us winning 2 and 3 games every season, and understanding what our bus rides were like. We only flew like maybe once, I think, and that might have been to Mississippi State. We drove everywhere else we went. Those long bus rides coming back home, sitting in the car, sitting on the bus and can't say anything, no music, no you couldn't have fun on the bus. Sonny would think like you ain't have no emotion in the game if you having fun on the bus. I don't care how long of a trip it is. You ain't laughing and joking and all that kind of stuff.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is. But if you didn't go through that, you don't understand that.
Yeah, going through 2-a-days and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you go through 2-a-days with some guys, I mean, you bonded. I mean, because you there, you're with them like all the time.
2-a-days for 2 and 3 straight weeks.
We had it for 4 weeks.
God, that's crazy. I mean, that's what. Yeah,
And
we
that's
had
what
it
it
for 4
was.
weeks. That's what it was. When I was there.
It didn't seem strange.
Yeah.
It was what it is now. Today,
can't even do that.
you can't do it.
Yeah.
But what a bond, though.
Yeah. And I think that we talked about like sort of the comparison between women's sports and men's sports, particularly on the basketball side. And I think that's what's being had, right? They're developing those bonds. They're playing with each other for 2, 3, 4 years. And we're getting to know them. They're getting to know them. And those bonds and those relationships are felt, even watching it as a fan.
Absolutely. And when you start talking about those top teams, and I know they had some that had transferred in and all that kind of stuff, but for the most part, those players, those ladies have been around each other for a couple of years now.
Or at least coming in together.
At least coming in together.
Yeah.
And
South Carolina.
and they have a bond.
Yeah.
That bond is different than you winning a championship and you're on a team.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a different thing. Losing on a team that you are tied to, believe it or not, and I know it for a fact, it creates a bond that because it's yours. You have to live in that. You know,
and I think even to the point to that point, I think even when you have a successful coach like Calipari, formerly at Kentucky, now at Arkansas, I think as far as when the administration was looking at him, they're looking at it from maybe your perspective. Like, man, we don't want all these just one and dones. We don't want people who don't care about Kentucky basketball.
Right.
We want to build a legacy. We want guys who want to be here. We want those 2, 3, 4 year guys, and we want to build those type of teams as opposed to doing it his way, where it's kind of, it's the fast food version of college basketball where you just in and out, in and out, in and out.
Right.
So I think even to take a successful, great coach who's won championships, and he can almost, I don't know if he was fired, but he can, be let go or however the transaction went. I think that college teams across men and women's sport are starting to see like this is just not the way to do business anymore. And we have to build legacy. We have to build teams. And we have to build those bonds.
Let me ask this question. To valid point, and I agree. I only have one, I think I have one issue with it. Mm-hmm. The great coach that is there or goes somewhere, I'm chasing that coach because that coach has been great.
Yeah.
And I think that's, that may be different than just chasing success. Mm-hmm. But that too can sometimes create a situation. Now, as you could call Sonny Randall whatever you wanted him to be, successful, just a hard-nosed guy, military kind of guy, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, I'm not like, oh yeah, run me again, Mm-hmm. But if it was good enough, if it was going to get me to where I wanted to go, and it was harder than anything I had ever been through, I'm satisfied. Mm-hmm. Winning is important to me, but it ain't the end thing.
But I think from like a university standpoint, winning is critical.
Oh, it's critical. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I think it's always been like that. I mean, I think even if we look at Alabama, for example, or we could stay on Kentucky. When you look at Kentucky, when you think of Kentucky, you're not necessarily just thinking of Calipari. You're thinking about a legacy of winning.
I understand.
When you think of Alabama, a legacy of winning, and it helps those brands, it helps recruiting, and it helps that bringing in money, student body. So it has a sort of a downhill effect.
The winning at Marshall. The winning at Marshall changed Moss, Randy Moss and that crew. That crew was,
and it was a crew before him, Peyton and Pedro and those guys who won those AA championships.
Yeah, all that was important for Marshall. The interesting component to that is the group that I was in kind of got left out. I love the thing about we are. I love that. I can appreciate it. But when you say that, you have to include us.
Yeah.
And sometimes we feel like that our group is not included because we didn't win.
Yeah, but we talked about earlier.
That comes on us though to depend on. I'm going to feel like I'm included in it.
But I think to your point, it's exactly what we talked about earlier. Everything, it's like the I forget what they call it, but it's like the effect. If this doesn't happen, then this doesn't happen, right?
Absolutely.
So, for example, if Carl Lee doesn't come out and be a draft pick right after or close to the plane crash and kind of in that first class of guys that's going to the NFL, then maybe we don't have the success in the late 80s moving up to the Randy Moss area and currently. So you have to include everybody because everybody had a part to play in it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'll close on this and say that, you know, one of the most important things to me is have played at Marshall. And again, I knew of the plane crash. We did the 10-year reunion when I was there, but it never really actually got to me until I saw the movie.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it.
Man, you're crazy.
I like Marshall, and I don't want to get emotional, but I'm going to watch it eventually.
Bro, now you need to watch it before next week. You need to watch it before next week. Yeah, you need to go home and sit down and watch it.
Yeah,
because it changes the dynamics of what Marshall is. And I think that's what was so big for me. And I think being part of that legacy of after the plane crash and still trying to get to some winning seasons and trying to reestablish the team, I didn't get that until after the movie. I didn't appreciate that until after the movie.
Yeah. And that's the thing I'm saying. Like if you know, all that happened, and then if you're not drafted, then who knows what happens to the program? Because even though we weren't winning, what they can always say during their era is like, hey, we had a NFL player, we had a player drafted, and he went on to have this illustrious career. So, like I said, it's all part of the puzzle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here, and we appreciate you listening, and we will get back with you again soon. We're out.
The opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of WVRC Media, its management, employees, or sponsors. Follow us on Facebook at Let's Talk Carl Lee. Visit WCHSnetwork.com/Let's Talk for more.